heavyweight power puncher Keith Thurman. One of the most exciting young fighters in the sport, stepping up in competition to match skills with veteran tough guy and former 147-pound titleist Jan Zaveck of Slovenia. In fact,
he seems to be able to walk the walk. You gotta
from the knockouts.
Talk to you.
In Birmingham's Zaveck try to do to throw
and never beat.
Zaveck's gonna.
Well, Thurman has some circus-like knockouts on the highlight reel. He has demonstrated of opposition, real one punch.
See, Thurman is a little bit. He's a little bit unsure right now.
Expedition against Andre Berto and a swollen eye, so he's been
and cut
his left eye, maybe from that Zaveck right hand.
That's
Body
what Thurman's
shot.
going to have to do with Zaveck.
The Ward said at the beginning that he would do. One goes forward.
That's the price he's going to have to take.
30 for Zaveck.
Pushing Zaveck's glove into his own face.
No, Zaveck definitely feels the power of Thurman with hook. But one thing Thurman's going to find out, one shot.
Fighter and an attraction. Southpaw. This time against a rugged pressure fight.
Kind of a muffled blow. Thurman is so... He makes an impact for emphasis.
Language just being in his face. Good shot from Zaveck. And he's trying to land that shot in the midst of Thurman's.
3 or 4 really good left hooks, so Zaveck determines he counters it with the right hand immediately.
I mentioned Jim on the inside.
Absolutely not. Good body work from Thurman.
Digging hard. This time Zaveck.
See why Zaveck wants to take Thurman deep, because he hasn't been deep into fights and he throws.
Zaveck seems ways bettors or bookies. Harold Letterman had Thurman winning. Very good minute for Thurman when he wanted to and caught
up the big shots. You want to add to that.
And as you were mentioning, Thurman swung wildly with a left hook and missed because he didn't set.
One thing I'm sure we'll see in maximum power, maximum.
That's the experience that he needs to get, and he's getting it in fights like
low minor leagues. You throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, they can't hit it. As you work your way up, a AAA have to start learning how to throw the off-speed stuff.
I think this is the right step up.
Three good body shots. Thurman throws Zaveck. Now he comes back with a right over the top. Hand of Zaveck's and tasted it a few times. Thurman is now ducking.
In a chair, and I like what I see. And it's just a matter of time before something big gets through.
Thurman has thrown most of his shots arms to the rib cage. Hard right hand underneath.
A fighter like Zaveck who keeps his hands high, you need to go to the body in order to get the
same pace throughout. Zaveck was only 9 of 31.
30-27, Keith Thurman. You know, Jim, we always talk about this is really interesting. Watch the way he moves. He's circling. I'm talking about Keith Thurman. You know, after this flurry, he comes back to the right. He lands good right. He's setting it up. Zaveck 3-0, 30-20.
Right?
Absolutely. He may throw off the wrong foot. Good shot.
Outer left hook inside. And Zaveck missed a right hand of his punches. Thurman's living off power. So far, power, is it balance? Is it?
I think with Thurman, what you see right now is more something that's natural.
Any one thing, it says every piece needs to be. You get your punch
all the time. Hard left hook by Thurman.
A bust up.
No, he's showing.
Keith Thurman has consistently been working to the body. He throws a little right to the body and leaps in with the left hook. As we said earlier, it's just a.
Keith Thurman was all the year. That Teller is already seen as a star. Head of Thurman in line in the welterweight division, even though 135. Promoter Richard Schaefer a couple of weeks ago talked about jumping over the 140 weight class and coming to one year in their careers.
Thurman's a naturally
assuring and
really seems
he's staying in his envelope. Broner, or excuse.
No, I really like what I'm seeing from Thurman. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get this fight gets stopped on cuts.
It's not always pretty, and he takes risks and opens himself, and he's fighting the guy in front.
Are forced to make that adjustment, but then moving forward, I guarantee you he'll learn from that. shot in Zaveck right now.
Harold Letterman talked to us earlier about the footwork. And you side to side, choosing at which point he wants to stop and fight. Round several times in his career. One fight. Wish in the heart of Dan Birmingham for that Thurman has to go 12 rounds tonight and get that education.
Mindset, but talking to him and Thurman in the fighter meetings, they both seem to really like the knockouts he's been having. So it's hard to say.
Zaveck earlier, a sneaky both hands, and they're starting
Again, coming off. And I think you're right, Max. Shortening up the punches was the key.
correctly distanced left hooks. Maybe he's started to time it.
That's what we talked about earlier, guys, about the mistakes.
Zaveck just barely, but it had home run written all over it.
Thurman may be trying to take a breather, so he's pressing.
And to take Thurman into the later rounds and find out if he has the stamina.
The hand knocked it out. And now he's went.
Zaveck is putting a lot of...
Referee appears to have dropped the mouthpiece back onto the canvas.
No, that's another mouth. That's either a piece of the mouthpiece or someone else's mouth.
They're both fighting without the mouthpiece because they seem happy out first, and then Zaveck's mouthpiece, which came out second. Anytime both mouthpieces come out at the same numbers in the 6th round, Thurman 19. His high number of Kellerman made early in the round, which was that Zaveck had hard right hand by
those apparently wide shots. It's because he's in a position to do it. Maybe not so much.
And Zaveck is looking for that one shot. And
well, he caught Berto with that shot. Now, Thurman rock cut lands for Thurman.
And I know it's easier.
A late round knockout is a different kind of item than the kind of early dominance knockouts that Thurman has experienced. Zaveck may be getting what he wants in terms of doing so at a large deficit on the scorecards.
Other than the tactical adjustments Zaveck may have made, the reason he's in this fight right now is as hard your head is would discourage most fighters, and Zaveck just keeps on coming.
Yeah. See Thurman trying Zaveck after he throws that
again. 15 rounds minute trying to get in as many messages. Say he says it. If he doesn't, he looks to have it through 7.
Okay, Jim. Yeah, 70 to 60 for him, and I punched him. One good shot, it looked real good. I mean, I know there were judges in the world that would give, but I think that Keith Thurman really, based on clean effective.
Give Zaveck the 6th.
He did land 1 or 2 nice shots. You couldn't miss him, but over the total.
I always ask myself who I think won.
Power into the later round.
I think his energy levels dropped. And his control of the fight through his punching is not as consistent as
time that it dropped out.
And it isn't necessarily punching because throwing a mouthpiece in.
Yes, he was.
Change 2 rounds.
Prospect like Keith Thurman. He's not looking for one shot. He's just punching. He's being rough and rugged. He's putting a lot of pressure on the young fighter right now.
Potential to territory where he has not been before.
This is what you look for in a fighter. Not a foregone conclusion who wins here, as Zaveck has shaken
19 wins, 18 by round 12.
Be a mark.
Time it happened to you before by a significant margin, and did it interfere with your confidence in any way?
I don't care who you are, you're going to think about it. If you've only gone 6 rounds and you're fighting an 8-rounder, you want to know how you feel in that 7th inning. I had more skill than him.
The recall was to push him back, right?
Yeah, I like to go at the big, strong guys that they think are invincible, but that's just heavy shots in the meantime.
And trying to show him that his energy level.
Zaveck's also not the puncher Miranda was. He didn't want to get caught on the end of any of those shots, I'm sure.
No, absolutely not.
Fortunately, a lot of Miranda guy could see them coming.
Got my mind beforehand, and mentally is showing that he can deal with this. Even though it's a little rough right now, this is necessary for him to grow.
Uppercuts, he landed a right hand across the top. Zaveck stopped punching momentarily as Thurman changed gears.
The first time in a while, though, and came back in, but it took him.
Yeah, Zaveck, you got to take your hat off.
36 years old against 24 years.
Just missing that overhand right. Keith Thurman needs to keep his eyes wide open and get that left hand up.
Zaveck coming off a left elbow injury. We mentioned it's a power puncher.
See, Zaveck got a little careless. Keith Thurman threw a beautiful half hook, half uppercut.
You all the way through the sequence, which saw Thurman follow that left uppercut with a right.
89-82, Keith Thurman. The truth with the, he very missed around. I thought Thurman very hard shots. Jim, I tell you, I'm seeing more and more where rival gloves.
You know anything about the characteristics of the rival glove?
Something to do with it. Next,
Do you have a favorite glove, Andre?
Yeah, I'm kind of,
Andre in the evening, step-up fights, and he makes step-up fight, not a showcase fight so far.
and this is the right. You get your young fighter hurt and discouraged. This is going to take him to another.
That's building a fighter. You take the experience and
That should boxing too.
Indeed. And really put some icing on the cake in the night. Hard, Zaveck ducking the right. And now Zaveck's left eye is starting to bleed. And Thurman is starting on.
In this 10th round.
He is hurt. It's been off balance twice. Thurman, 5 of 19.
at the end of that round, Zaveck.
For this fight
hasn't fought in nearly a year. Hopkins had one during that period of time, but it was a loss to Chad Dawson.
Style, but he almost shoe shines at him earlier in the round. Thurman brings his guard up. He doesn't ignore them. He plays defense. You would say envelope.
Jan Zaveck decided Thurman to change everything.
Andre is in this final round. How would you like to see Thurman?
season, Dan Birmingham is saying, don't give me, let's pack it in, get the win.
And Birmingham's experience of going 12 rounds, it happens.
Oh, make short and long term, they didn't really come and try to close the show, depending on the situation.
Birmingham told him, don't take the right hand of his own.
Exchange.
Indeed.
That's what Birmingham's thinking.
Hard right hand by Zaveck. Mothers the uppercut. Hard right hand by Zaveck.
There we go. That's it. That's it.
And new WBO Intercontinental Champion.
Every